Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Emma. How are we
Morning,
doing?
everyone. Yes, I'm good. Thank you. How are you, Andy?
Very good, thanks. Very good. It's
Glad
good to be
to
back,
hear
isn't it?
it. It is.
Been a little while for me and you.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been ages this time around, doesn't it?
It does indeed, yeah. Although it's only been 2 months, um,
Yeah,
which is a bit scary. But anyway, but yeah, it's good to get us both together because I think we're both away next week as well, aren't we?
yes,
So
we are. Yeah.
yeah. Welcome everybody to another HubSpot masterclass with me, Andy Gibbons, and Emma Aber-White as well. Today, as we can see on screen, we are talking about getting the most out of lead scoring. Now, this I would say is probably quite a big underutilized resource in
Definitely.
HubSpot. Okay. Um, there are, and I would say a lot of people that are on this webinar probably suffer from similar challenges. Big database, no way
Hmm.
of really knowing what are the good leads. Salespeople chase the wrong people. Marketing teams struggle to prove ROI, and this is all where lead scoring comes into play. So
Absolutely.
Emma's and I, mainly Emma though, is going to be discussing what it is if we're not really sure of it, or whether we're using it or not. What has changed because HubSpot have made some big changes to the lead
Mm.
scoring. Emma's going to tell you all about those as well, and most importantly, how to use them. Okay,
Yeah.
and there's lots of different ways in which we do that. So, plan for today, as always with our masterclasses, is we're going to finish at 11 o'clock today. Um, we're going to try and answer as many questions as we go. Okay. But as always, both of us will stick around afterwards to make sure we answer everything. Okay.
Definitely.
Um, so, first bit of housekeeping then is I want to check that the chat is live this morning. So, what would be a good question to ask and understand from everyone that's attending is just a very simple yes or no. Who is using lead scoring currently in their HubSpot portal? Right, what we got here then?
A lot of no's so
A lot of
far.
no's so far. Okay, not
Not
yet.
yet. I like that.
Yeah, I like that, AJ.
Lots of not yet.
Sort of. Okay, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a few yeses, but the
Majority of no's. Yeah.
majority of no's. Okay. So a lot of them won't have to make all those changes by the end of next week then,
Mm.
effectively. Okay, that's good stuff. Brilliant. Well, what I'll do quickly as well is I'm going to start, before I hand over to Emma, I'm going to just do a bit of a quick introduction really on JDR, because some of you may be new to these masterclasses, so you might not have been to one before. If you have, you all know the drill by now. We get together once a month. We'll try to, me and Emma, just to go through some really, really underutilized tools in HubSpot. Help businesses, help individuals get the most out of the tool.
Mm.
Um, but as a business at JDR, we are first and foremost a marketing agency. So that's what we do day to day, where we work with our clients who are predominantly small to medium sized businesses, and we help them with their marketing and sales. Our background's actually in business coaching, which is how we started many years ago now, over 21 years in October
Mm.
it'll be this year. We've been using HubSpot as our own primary system, CRM system, for I would say 13, 14 years now as well. I've used it every day in that period since I've been here. And we've been partners with HubSpot for over 10 years now as well. So when it comes to HubSpot, there's probably three main ways in which we help our clients. The first one is, and some of you, if you've got HubSpot already, particularly a professional level subscription and up, HubSpot do now make it mandatory to purchase a level of onboarding. So you may have worked with a different partner. You may have worked with JDR on setting up and implementing HubSpot right from the get-go. Okay. We also offer, for kind of existing users, HubSpot consultancy and training. I'd also say that a lot of businesses at the moment that have been using HubSpot for a while we're actually re-onboarding a lot of them as well.
Yeah, loads of
Now,
them at the moment.
loads of them at the moment where they feel that they might have done it themselves or they've worked with a partner, it's not really worked for them, and actually, so just take a step back and just treat them as new HubSpot users. Okay, get it working the way it can. But as I say as well, we use HubSpot to underpin our inbound marketing agency services. Okay, where we are essentially an outsourced marketing department for small to medium-sized businesses, helping not only from a strategic perspective, so we can see Emma's there working with clients, but also, as you can see, we've got the resources in-house to help execute it as well. Okay. So if this is something that you want to discuss, one of those 3 areas here that you want potential advice or support on, what I will do is I will pop a link to my diary in the calendar. As you can see, I'm away next week, so you can't see me until September. Okay, so when I get back, we can get together and have a discussion about your sales or your marketing or your HubSpot account. Okay, so I'll do that now, and I'm gonna give my computer back. Well, give the screen away to Emma.
Yeah.
Let me just
Okay.
in the chat.
Well, it's just sending that link then. I'll get started. So.
Yep.
Lead scoring primarily is going to be part of Marketing Hub Professional for the most part. On the other professional hubs, so on Sales Hub, for instance, Professional, you are able to do lead scoring on a company level, but not on a contact level. But to be able to do it on a contact level, you are looking at that Marketing Hub Professional version of HubSpot here, which also unlocks a ton of other things as well that we're not going to go into today. But that's kind of the level of HubSpot you'd need for this one. This isn't a starter tool. Okay. So lead scoring has existed in HubSpot for a really long time. It used to be a property that you could go in, you could create what HubSpot called scoring properties. So that would enable you to build out these scores for various different things. However, this old lead scoring is being sunset by HubSpot and has been replaced with their brand new lead scoring tool. I will say the new tool is so much better than the old one.
Yes.
For once. It is much more powerful. It's much easier to use, but it's also more flexible to get you exactly what you need from it. At JDR, we never really used the old lead scoring property in our own business. We have now started using the new lead scoring one, and it's just so much better. But as of August the 31st, any old lead scoring properties that you have will stop working. So it's not just that you're not able to edit it or anything like that. It will actively stop working, any of the old ones. This is something that if you've got old lead scoring set up, you need to get that moved over to the new one as soon as possible, really. The other key difference between what was the old lead scoring and the new one is that it didn't separate out between different types of scores. The new lead scoring separates out between what HubSpot calls engagement scores and what it calls fit scores. So let's go through what those things are and what that actually means. So your engagement score is designed to qualify your leads based on their actions and their interactions. So the engagement score is going to be looking at things like, have they opened emails? Have they viewed certain web pages? Have they clicked certain call to actions? Have they responded to one-to-one email that you've sent them, that sort of thing. So it's all about the things that they're actively doing that will give you a kind of pulse check, really, of how engaged they might be. On the other hand, you then have your fit score, and that's designed to qualify your contacts based on their demographic information. So that's going to be things like looking at their job title, looking at the type of company they work for, looking at their location maybe, and determining, are they the right fit for your company. Ideally, with lead scoring, you want both of these 2 different things set up. You want an engagement score and you want a fit score. The reason being is you probably are going to treat someone differently if they're highly engaged or lowly engaged. You're also going to treat them differently based on if they are a really good fit for your business or not a very good fit for your business. So by using these 2 in conjunction, you get a a really good kind of split of that information for people, and you can then tailor things really specifically based on that criteria. You can also create combined scores, which kind of merge those two things together. I personally have had a lot more success doing these as two separate scores that you then kind of look at together, as opposed to trying to do one overall combined score. There is the option there to do that if that was something that you'd wanted to do. Okay, let's jump in and actually show you what this new tool looks like, how you get to it, how it works, and all of that. So if I come over into HubSpot, I'm just in my demo portal here, and this is going to be under your marketing tab and then in lead scoring. You can see we've been setting up some fake ones, but all you'll need to do is hit create score. And then you choose whether you are going to do an engagement score, a fit score, or combined. Because this portal has access to everything here, I can choose to do this on companies, on deals, or on contacts. If you're just on Marketing Hub, it will just be the contacts there. Sales Hub will unlock these other two. Okay, let's do an engagement score for this one. It's going to be focusing on how contacts are engaging with your content and stuff that you're putting out. So if I hit create there, and then I can start building my score. Now, typically, you want to limit your score to a total number of points. I normally stick with 100, but if you've got tons of criteria, you might want to up that a little bit. 100 is normally more than enough. And then you can add different groups. Now, the different groups allow you to weight things differently. So what I would normally do is I would normally have an email interactions group, which is perhaps of the total 100 points, I want this to give them 60 as a maximum. And then I want their website interactions to maybe give them the remaining 40 points. So in this example, I am weighting their interactions with emails slightly higher than their interaction with the website. I can then add in my criteria, and I can choose from all of these various different things. So in this one, this is my email interactions. I'm going to choose marketing emails. And then here are all the different options that I can score off the back of. So for instance, I can score off the back of them opening an email. I want to add 1 point. I can get super granular with this. So I can say I only want them to get the point if they've done that in the last 60 days. I can say that I only want it to score them if they've done it, if they've opened exactly 5 emails from me. Or I can choose that every single time they score, every single time they open an email, that's 1 extra point added to them. So it's super flexible with how I want to set that up. What we've been doing with a lot of people as part of our kind of training and consultancy recently is we've been setting up generic kind of best practice lead scores where we'll go through and put in kind of roughly what we think an engagement score should look like. There are elements of it that are always going to be bespoke based on you and your company. For instance, with like the website pages they've viewed, for instance, for us, we want anyone that's perhaps viewed Andy's calendar link to be scored quite highly because that's someone that is wanting to interact. For you, that might be someone that's viewed a book a demo page or a product page on your website or something like that. So you can set all of that up. This is something we've been helping loads of people do recently. So if this is something that's looking a little bit overwhelming and you feel like you're going to need a bit of help determining this criteria, that's something that we can look at with you. The other option that you have is that you can also set your scores to decay. What that means is that every 3 months, for instance, it's going to take a little proportion of that score off so that these scores are super live and are kind of changing and adapting based on how frequently and how recently people have been engaging with you. I would definitely recommend having that decay scores turned on with
Absolutely.
that decay.
I would say it's the decay score was probably one of the reasons why we didn't use it the previous one, because I don't know whether it was available in the previous one.
No, you couldn't do that previously at all.
You couldn't do it at all. So basically what used to happen is that a lead had maybe opened an email of ours like 5 years ago. So the score, so every time you went on the, or who are the top leads, it was someone that hasn't even looked at you for 5 years.
Which just isn't useful, is it?
It just became redundant so quickly. So every time that you used to go on it or like get the updates or track them, is that you just have to filter through all of the irrelevant data. Whereas now with this is a bit of a game changer because if those aren't going to be at the top of the list if they haven't
Yeah,
looked at an email for
because it'll be decayed
people.
down.
Absolutely, yeah,
Exactly.
which is really
Yeah.
useful.
The other thing that this has added that's useful in the same way is you can actually now choose which contacts you want to score, or you can choose specific lists of contacts to exclude. This is another reason why it didn't work for us previously, because all of our existing clients and all of our staff always came up as our most highly engaged
Yeah.
contacts. We had no way of stopping that. In this section now, you can choose lists of people that you want to exclude that you just would create within your normal lists tool. So you can set this so it's only looking at your prospects. It's not looking at
Mm.
anyone that's actively in the sales process with you right now because you're already engaging with them. It's not looking at customers. It's not looking at your own staff members or suppliers or anything like that. So this again just really helps with making the data that the lead score presents you with much more usable, because you're able to tailor it more and choose which people you want this to apply to. So
Yeah,
this is a really important bit to set up.
absolutely.
The other area that I would recommend looking at is your score thresholds. What I always say with this is to begin with these as they are, and then get a bit of a pulse check of how people have fit into these different thresholds. You want the people that are being scored as high to really be the top 5 to 10% of your contacts. You don't want that to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are all scoring as high. If once you've set this up, that is the case, you can always come back in and edit it and just bring this threshold down just a little bit so that less people are getting those top marks essentially. This will allow you to hone that list so that it is showing you useful data into the different kind of categories there. You can also not use the threshold and just use the numerical value. I find the threshold quite useful though to
It,
categorize people in that
it gives a
way.
good overview with the color schemes as
Exactly.
well. So
Yeah.
you get to glance at how many leads I've got, how many good leads, how many.
Yeah, it's much more visual, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how you set up the engagement score, and kind of how that works. There's loads and loads of different event criteria that you can add here, and the fit score looks very similar. It's in the groups and stuff. It's just you're going to be looking at properties on the contact rather than interactions with them. So that'll be like their job title and stuff like that. So once you've got it created, how are you actually then going to go about using it? I would say the first way of using it is to use it as a visual view of which of your contacts fit into these categories. So this is a screenshot from our live CRM, obviously anonymized. And you can see here, we're looking at our engagement score and our fit score on all of our contacts. So a lot of these are lowly engaged contacts. This one, though, is a super high fit contact, and he's starting to get a few engagement points. You can see here that there's 30 engagement points. He's still in that low threshold, but it's starting to move up. This is going to be really helpful from a kind of sales perspective. It's going to allow our sales team to go in and look at who's engaging and prioritize these contacts. If you're a salesperson that's got, I don't know, half an hour spare in the day, you can filter through this list to just look at your high fit score, medium engaged contacts, for instance, or high fit score, high engaged contacts as a really targeted list of people that you can then start that outreach to that are most likely to then actually convert into customers for you. So it really allows you to kind of organize which contacts you want to reach out to from a potentially huge database. The other big way that you can do this, though, is by automating some of this. So because this is a Marketing Hub professional tool, you'll have access to the
Mm.
workflow. So this is what we've set up recently so that in our CRM, when a high fit contact, so someone that is the perfect lead for us, also becomes highly engaged, our sales team are going to get a notification immediately that that has happened, that this person is engaged, so that they can then jump on that as quickly as possible and reach out to that person. It's been working really well for highlighting leads that perhaps we wouldn't even knew were engaging otherwise. When you've got hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of people in your database, it's really hard to keep on top of who's opening what, who's clicking around on your website,
Yeah.
who's engaging with your emails. This allows you to surface those people directly put them in front of someone and get them followed up immediately and get a good result off the back of that. So this is absolutely the first thing I would recommend doing, is to automate off the back of your lead score.
Absolutely. Get it to the top of your inbox.
Yeah.
So it's front of mind. James, by the way, Emma, has asked, might be missing something basic. How do you filter contacts like staff and customers, etc.?
So in terms of in the score
The
area
contact list,
here, yeah. So what you would need to do for that is you would need to set up a list just through your normal lists tool. So on HubSpot, you can create lists of all various different things, which is, sorry, I moved quite fast there. It's under marketing. No, it's not. It's under CRM. And then lists.
Should be under marketing, I know.
Yeah. Under CRM and then lists. You can create that list of contacts, say, and then you add your filters in. So let's say I was doing this for JDR staff members. I would go into the properties, do a search for email, and then if your email contains jdrgroup.co.uk, that's then going to pull all of these people through, so I can then exclude them if I want to. It just takes a minute to process it. Here we go. This is now all of our JDR staff email addresses that HubSpot has kind of filtered through. So that'll be using that lists tool there.
Yeah, and with customers, you can use lifecycle stage if you use that as part of your sales process. But you should also have a list of customers as well, so that they can get excluded from. It's always good to segment lists consistently and create multiple lists, because if you want to send all your customers a Christmas email, you only want to get your customers to receive those. So you should always have a good list to segment those also. So
definitely. Okay. The other thing that I would strongly recommend doing with the data that you get from the score is to set up some nurturing. So what you want to do is, when a lead is only medium engaged or is low engaged, essentially what you want to do is get them to be highly engaged as quickly as possible, right? Because that way they are reading your content, they know who you are, you're starting to build that relationship with them without actually having to reach out to them. This automatic nurture is all possible on Marketing Hub Pro. So what I would suggest with this is to send them as much useful content for them to click through to as possible. The aim of the emails to your medium and low engaged contacts is not to get them to convert with you. It is just to get them to engage and to be kind of interacting with your business and with your content in the background without that super kind of high commitment sort of call to action that you would have. So you don't really want to be asking them to book a meeting with you or anything at this point, because they're not engaged enough for that. Instead, you want to be sending them stuff that's going to be genuinely useful to them. So that might be blogs, it might be downloadable resources, it might be, I don't know, data sheets or technical information about your products, anything like that. You want to send genuinely useful information to these people so that they're clicking on those emails and you're building that trust with them. Case studies can also work really well here. If you still want to get across a little bit of kind of who you are and what you do, case studies are a great way of doing that. We often find that case studies, when we email those out, they're some of our most engaged with emails. People like to get that social proof of seeing what you've done for other people before they go ahead with it themselves. People never like to be the first to do something. Like I mentioned, that downloadable materials is really worth doing as well. Ebooks, that sort of thing is very effective here. So setting up those nurture flows to get them to become engaged is really key. The idea being that they would go through this nurture flow and then they would end up in this automation that then passes them over to sales automatically once they're already then engaged. Essentially, this is going to take a big job off of your sales team and trying to get that engagement with someone, because your automation is doing that in the background for you constantly. Okay. I know there are a couple of questions. Yeah, I was thinking, should we just pause?
Pause to cover these then, shall we? So
yeah.
Chris has asked, so one of the issues I've experienced is that when the scoring model is updated, so i.e. that they add a new job role, a new form, the model then reruns for everyone. So they see a
Mm-hmm.
large number of MQLs generated, the score hits 100 from old records, which we don't want. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you stop the scoring model rerunning for everyone and not just from the point it was updated? Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
so it does.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm assuming, Chris, some of this is from the old lead scoring because I think some of this will be resolved by the decay feature, not scoring people. Some of this will be solved by splitting out that fit versus engagement. For instance, if you're adding a job role value, that would be on your fit score, and you would want everyone that had that value to be updated to a higher fit, but they might not be super engaged still. So by layering those two, you'll be able to improve some of that as well. The other thing I would recommend doing for this is for those people that you don't want to be scored, maybe you've already kind of discounted them or something like that, having that list set up so that they're not included in your score going forwards is the way to do it. You can't stop the score from kind of rerunning for people because the whole idea of it is that it's a live score, but it will enable you to start to kind of customize that and get it so it's the right people that are coming up highly engaged for you.
No, that covers that. I think there's nothing more from my side to
Mm-hmm.
add. Vix has asked, we have multiple product teams reaching out to the same customers. How can we ensure that the engagement scoring is only relevant to specific product emails and websites?
So the nice thing about this tool is you can actually set up different engagement scores. So it would be possible to set up an engagement score almost per product for you, Vic. So you could have certain web pages that have been viewed. With the emails, it's a little harder. If I just come back out of here, back into my lead scoring. Here we go. With the emails, it is a little bit trickier because it is just generic. Have they opened it or clicked it? But you can filter that down based on the email name. Now, you would have to then add every email you did into this, so it's not ideal. But you would potentially be able to kind of filter that down by the name and group that in to kind of add those emails in as you do each of them. It's not ideal, but you would be able theoretically to create those different scores for different product groups to show the different engagements with those.
And Patrick has asked, I'm assuming the scoring only works within HubSpot marketing emails rather than collecting any data from the Outlook plugin.
Great question. So if I add an extra event here, you can include sales one-to-one emails as an event. So as long as that Outlook emails are being tracked in HubSpot, you know how you tracked your opens and your clicks, and you can kind of see that from using that Outlook plugin. You can actually add points based on that as well and based on those sales emails. This will also include any emails you're sending via sequences if you are a Sales Pro user as well. So yeah, that actually you would be able to do it off the back of that as well, which is quite cool.
Absolutely. I think that's everyone so far. If you've got any more, still feel free to put them in the Q&A box.
Yeah,
we'll come back to them
please do. I will come back to them all. Super. The other way that I think you can really use the lead scoring outside of the kind of marketing and sales function is actually from a data quality perspective. By highlighting contacts that are low fit, you're able to then see where potentially they're missing data. So what I would recommend for this is filtering people where their fit score is low, but their engagement score is high, and then key pieces of data are unknown for that person. So for instance, if you have someone that's super highly engaged, but isn't scoring high on your fit score because their job title is missing, it's going to be a top priority to go and do the research and enrich that record with that job title, because that way it's going to then be surfaced to your sales team. It's going to be then dealt with in the way it needs to be based on what its legitimate fit is. So by using these filters on your contact list, this is going to enable you to highlight those leads where you need that more data adding, you need that enrichment. You're never going to get 100% of the data you need on 100% of your contacts. That's unrealistic. this gives you a place to start with which contacts need that data enrichment doing on them. In order to set up these filters, I'll just show you again in here. You'll do that through your contact list directly and through the advanced filters section here. So in here, you can then simply search for fit score. I don't think I've got any actually live in this account. I use them in my other account, but when you've got them actually published, they'll come up in here and you'll be able to add them in as filters. Let's add job title in. So if my job title is unknown, for instance, it's then going to filter down this list and bring me up a targeted list of records for me to then focus my data enrichment efforts on. So these are the kind of filters I would recommend there if anybody wants to screenshot them. These are the ones that I would recommend starting with. Okay, so those are the main areas where you're going to use these lead scores. It's going to be about seeing how people are engaged and nurturing them accordingly, whether that be through marketing, nurturing, or sales. And then it's also going to be about using them to enrich your data, to organize your data, and to surface the things that need to be the top priorities. That would be my kind of, in a nutshell, version of how I would go about starting with the lead scoring and getting the most out of that.
Absolutely. And I think that from a sales perspective, from my point of view, time is something that we never have enough of. I think in sales, we at JDR, we specialize in working with small to medium-sized businesses, okay, who don't have huge sales teams a lot of the time. It is they're busy doing meetings, they're busy running business, they're doing other things as well. So to have a tool that allows you to make better decisions with your limited time makes a huge difference to the business. Now we've had lots of webinars where we've talked about little sort of tools and areas of HubSpot that will make salespeople's lives a lot easier, marketing people's lives a lot easier. This is a great way of just honing in on what to focus on who you should focus on as well. And it also creates that big link up between marketing and sales as well.
That's so important, isn't it? That link between the two.
Absolutely. Because historically they don't get on. Salespeople never have enough leads, and marketers always feel that they're not followed up enough as well. So this is a way in which you can keep track of it. You can prove your worth as a marketer, and also you can make better decisions as a salesperson as well. So
definitely.
If you're not using it, start using it.
Start using it. Definitely. The other thing that's worth mentioning, actually, I don't know if this was mentioned on last month, but we have just redone our website at JDR as well. In our new Knowledge Hub area, we've got a dedicated area now to all of our previous webinars where you're able to go through and access the replays of all of these webinars that we've done previously. It's much easier to navigate than it was on the old website. So this is something that I would recommend checking out if you are still getting to grips with HubSpot. If you've missed any of these historic ones, there's almost 2 years worth of content on here now for you to go back through. So I would definitely recommend checking that out on the website as well.
Yeah, there's also a YouTube playlist as well, I would say. If you go to our YouTube, there's a playlist and it just plays them back to back as well. You go to JDR Group, but hit playlists, and then HubSpot.
Yeah, perfect.
It's got all of them that are on there as well. So
definitely worth watching.
If you're a YouTuber, video watcher, that get on those as well. It's a good way to catch up on them as well. And there's a good library. There'll be things that we've talked about today that we've probably covered in previous ones as well.
In a bit more detail.
Absolutely. So there's loads and loads of resources. And as I said at the beginning, if you've got any specific questions or, something you want to talk about proper, in more detail, feel free, organize a call in my diary. And we can talk in more detail about things as well and how we can help. Okay.
Fantastic.
We're quite prompt for once.
Yeah, no, I feel like we finished pretty much bang on time there.
I know. Yeah.
But that's
Normally
all
we never
good.
know. We never really know how long it's going to be.
No,
And
we never know how many questions we'll get either,
yeah,
do we? I suppose.
yeah.
Fantastic. All right
I
then.
think that's
Well,
it. Yeah,
thank you
we'll
for
wrap it
joining
up.
everybody. Lovely to be back, and we'll see you next month.